Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Demon Souls. Return to Demon Souls, I should say. We left off here about like halfway through Boletaria 1-1. Let's just break through this barrier and take care of these draglings. Pretty bad. I cannot believe I'm still taking this much damage to fucking draglings. Oh well, whatever. At least I'm getting plenty of Crescent Moongrass. Was gonna be able to keep myself up in terms of HP. Oh, hey there. The scimitar, once again to reiterate what I said, is an excellent weapon. I love the scimitar. This game is probably... Well, or is this the falchion? Wait a second. I think they might be... No, this is the scimitar. It just looks like the falchion from Dark Souls 2. But yeah, this is an excellent weapon. Not gonna be using it too much because, like I said, I've used it before, so I'll probably switch to something else. That's the one thing I do not know yet, which weapon I should use before I pick up the Blue Moon sword, because it's gonna be a while until I get the Blue Moon sword, because it does actually take quite a bit to unlock. Essentially, you have to go through the entirety of the Valley of Defilement in order to get it. It's weird kind of that only one of them jumped down. Oh, there he is. Let's see if we can get a backstab here. There we go. Haven't gotten too many backstabs so far here, so that is a nice welcome change. I'm just gonna go and get the merchant. You know what? I might look at what weapons this merchant is selling. I don't know why I tried. Parrying a halberd is not the best idea, honestly. Now this guy, on the other hand. Come on, there we go. Of course, once again, difference in elevation made it so that I couldn't get the riposte. Here is kind of a tricky ambush here. This guy throws the fireball, and luckily, I already know it was coming. There we go. Still have to get used to the timing here, but I think I'm getting there, or at least I should be getting there. Okay, here we go. The Dragling Merchant sells like any of the earlier merchants throughout the game, like Melantia and whatever. He sells some pretty basic stuff here. Let's see. Moongrass does sell a longsword and a short spear, 11 and 10. I do have the dex, but I don't have the strength to use this thing, and the plate armor. Never really used the spears in this game. No. I don't think I'm gonna pick one up. Maybe I'll just go and get the Mercury rapier or something. I'll figure something out. We're still extremely early on here in the game. Let's see. Let's just head on with Boletaria. I want to finish this area today. Defeat the lead demon. And of course, this knight here, who I just failed completely by parrying. Oh fuck. Gotta watch out for those 4-directional. Just like in Dark Souls 1, you can only... Goddamn. You can only roll or dodge roll in 4 directions. So you gotta be careful of that. God, I'm sucking today. Alright, watch out. There you can see the bleed effect. Okay, that went surprisingly well. And this guy, of course, always drops. The Blue Knights always drop like the more advanced healing items. And this guy normally just gets pushed off. He's gonna take... Well, maybe he'll die today. Yeah, normally it doesn't take... If you just push him off, he doesn't take enough fall damage for him to die. My fucking inventory is getting cluttered again. We'll remove all this so far. And I will, however, use Half Moon Grass. And let's move on. This is also a clever little ambush. Gotta break this before going on. Otherwise, these pretty much one-shot you. And here, this is kind of cool because you basically get a whole view of the areas coming up. And this is, once again, something that they didn't really do in Dark Souls 2, which was kind of a shame. Kind of link the areas together like this. Because you know that place is important. I mean, look at it. It's like in front of a giant hole in a mountain. Looks pretty awesome. This is a huge castle. And it's fun to explore. Oh, there's some tearing there. You can see through the wall. Yeah, this game does have that issue sometimes where if you're pressed up against the walls, you can see through it. Oh well. You have to consider that this game is from 2009. Okay, now here we have... If you think the spear enemies in Dark Souls 2 are annoying, try these guys. Holy shit. Just... terrible. God damn it. And the reason they're even more difficult here is because, like I said, poise is non-existent in this game. Let's see. I'm going to use another half moon. Here we have one of these areas. For anyone who hasn't played this game, there are areas that are tied to the world tendency. And I'm going to explain world tendency a little bit later. As you can see, there's treasure there. Obviously, there's no way for us to get to it because there are a couple of dragons in the way. And these dragons are going to be showing up throughout Boletaria. And essentially, you can only get this, I think, once you increase the world tendency towards... I think you have to get to pure white. But down there is actually a shield called the Purple Flame Shield, which has one of the best fire defenses in the game. And it's very useful against a particular boss. But that's going to be coming up later, that boss. And we'll deal with him when we need to. Anyways, the dragon is going to be coming. This is kind of the precursor to the bridge scene in Dark Souls 1 with the worm, the Halkite Drake. It looks like he's not aggroing. Oh, there he is. By the way, now, while the dragon is like this, you can actually go back and grab some of the treasures that are down there if you're fast enough. Oh, he didn't breathe fire. He doesn't always breathe actual fire because you have to like stay out for him to do that. But as you can see, I'm making quick work of these guys because of my scimitar. Oh fuck, except that I'm missing. Okay, he's coming. Is he coming? That is weird. Why is he going away? Huh. Interesting. Normally he's a lot more like... Oh, there he is. I'm gonna try get him. No, you're not gonna do it. You asshole. What the hell is that guy doing? Oh, I think he might have been casting like poison cloud or something. Normally most of these guys would be taken care of by the dragon. But he's like being lazy today. Don't know what's going on. That is so weird. Okay, he's coming around, I think. There he is. Do something, dragon. Come on. Okay, now he's gonna... Yes, there we go, finally. Hey, you actually did something. Okay, I think he's just gonna... Yeah, he's just looping back. Alright, you know what? Then what we have to do, once he starts breathing fire, you have to kind of retreat back here and let him go back. Yeah, now he's going away. Okay, it's time for us to run through. Okay. Ah, fuck. That was like the worst dodge ever. You can still do the run backstab if you want. Come on, you turtlers. And you're the last one. Except I would like to pick up that treasure. Okay, I think we're good. Once you're under him, he cannot do much. Unlike the Halkite Drake in Dark Souls 1, this one is not clever enough to turn around. So basically, we are in not much danger. But yeah, I don't think they ever really explain where these dragons come from. I think they're just dragons that are here. They're not like the king's pets or anything. They just came here to eat, basically. And here we go. That menacing gate we saw at the opening, it actually has a purpose. It is the first area of our boss fight. And it's interesting that thing they throw out is a weapon called the Scraping Spear, which you can get using this boss's soul. Oh fuck, an ambush. Unfortunately, I don't think it's very good. Basically, the Scraping Spear, what it does is it's a spear that deals pretty low damage, but it breaks enemies' equipment, which actually can be useful in this game for certain situations. You don't have repair powder in this game, you have something called the Adze Grindstone, and that can only be used on your weapons. So your armor can still be broken using the Scraping Spear, and for some weapons and armor pieces it only takes like a few hits for it to break. So that is a pretty good like troll weapon. Unfortunately, the PvP in this game, you can definitely tell that they were still kind of figuring it out with this game, because the unfortunate thing about this game is PvP system is that there is nothing stopping anyone from healing. And since you have I'll explain this later. This is actually a really clever thing they did, I think. Basically, these blobs are part of the boss that we're going to be fighting. And it's actually pretty clever of them to put some of these enemies in front of you while you're heading down to the boss, to kind of give you an opportunity to figure out how to fight them. So because you're in the narrow stairway here, you can quickly figure out that you have to go behind them in order to effectively fight them. And also, these guys are the first enemies in the game to drop upgrade materials for your weapons. Unless, of course, you can get some upgrade materials early on if you manage to defeat the first boss. As you can see, we got Shard of Heartstone. But yeah, so in PvP, there's unfortunately nothing stopping anyone from healing. And there's nothing stopping anyone from farming 99 of healing items. And basically in this game there are 3 categories of healing items that essentially heal you all the way. That's late moon grass, full moon grass, and dark moon grass. So unfortunately, a lot of the times, unless you have like people who actually want to PvP, it'll just end up with people consuming infinite healing items and just dragging out the PvP match forever, unless you can get like chain backstabs or something, or parries. And as you probably saw, if we use one of these, this is pretty instant. So yeah, the PvP honestly is not the greatest in this game. Some people still love it, but honestly it's only really fun if you get together a group of people who actually want to engage in PvP and won't use these like and won't heal basically. Now this boss is pretty simple, to be honest. It's basically made up of a bunch of these guys, and they are extremely weak to fire, like extremely. So basically all you gotta do here with this boss fight is slap on turpentine onto your weapon, which you should have plenty of. Fuck, you know what, I should have equipped my half moon grass here. Oh well, you know what, we're gonna correct that mistake in a little bit. Just want to make the best use of this turpentine. As you can see, this isn't the most challenging thing ever, but you have to consider that this is the first boss of the first Souls game, so likely people probably found this guy very difficult because they didn't know what they were doing. Nowadays, if you look back, someone who just comes back to play Demon's Souls would probably find most of the bosses incredibly easy. And that's just because, you know, this was the first Souls game, so I guess the standard of difficulty wasn't as high as in like Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. That doesn't mean that the bosses are any less fun, and there are plenty of challenges. I think, well, luckily you have, as you can see, plenty of space to maneuver. I think that this game definitely has the best kind of final boss of any Souls game. Definitely the only final boss they actually got right. And it's not like a... Well, I shouldn't say that, because there is another like story-based final boss that doesn't actually contribute to the... Doesn't actually fight much, just contributes to the lore. But the like final... What most people consider the final boss of this game is very good. Certainly 1,000 times better than Chandra and even Gwyn. Nashandra was probably what I was most disappointed by, because with Gwyn you can kind of increase the difficulty by fighting him with no parrying, and that kind of makes him a little bit more of a challenge. But with Nashandra is just a complete pushover. Even with like the curse, especially after they decided to add the fucking human or hollow skin item to the game, which basically negates her most dangerous attack of like the curse orbs. As you can see, we're making... Basically the boss itself is the middle blob, and these guys are just its protectors. This guy, by the way, does appear in Dark Souls 2 as well in some ways. He appears in the Painted World. It's kind of a throwback to this guy. Alright. You're dead. I think it's the last one. Yeah, and once you've killed all his minions, this thing is completely defenseless. Now there's one more. I don't think that one is gonna do anything though. I don't know if they actually die once their kind of master is dead. Oh, there you are. We'll finish you off as well. And he's dead. And once you destroy a demon, you turn back into human form, which normally has some pretty serious consequences in this game. Huh, weird. Seriously, no one dropped anything? Are you fucking kidding me? Normally these guys drop upgrade materials. God damn. Well, that kind of increases the challenge, I guess. What is the world tendency here? Let's see. Well, it's almost pure white, I think. Yeah, people have been saying most of the... generally, most of the... if you're playing online, most of the worlds gravitate towards white world tendency. And the reason for that is that it's just a lot easier to go towards white, because it happens naturally by killing the bosses. Basically, to go towards black, you have to die in body form. And most people, what they do is just they suicide inside the Nexus. So even if they die in one of the worlds, it doesn't affect the world tendency. So most, like I said, most areas tend to gravitate towards white world tendency.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
Okay. Just like she said, and it's kind of... On my first playthrough, I couldn't fucking find this monumental. They don't actually give you very good directions in where to find him. But now I know. So while we go up, I'm just gonna... As you can see, this is probably someone... Yeah, this is someone suiciding. It's because they don't want their world tendency to be affected. So basically, world tendency... Each area can go towards black world tendency and white world tendency. I think in White world tendency makes the enemies a little easier, and I think the chance of common drops increase, while in black world tendency, enemies are a little bit stronger, and this is just, the difference is pretty marginal. Some special enemies appear, like black phantoms can appear, and rare drops increase. So if you're farming for like upgrade materials and things like that, you definitely, yeah, I can see that. You definitely want to go towards black world tendency. What is that treasure down there? And how do you get to it? Don't actually, is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. I have no idea what this is. Never picked this up. Oh, it's a stone of the ephemeral eye. Basically what that item is the humanity or human effigy of this game. Alright, more story time. This guy gives a lot of exposition. Well, is it even a guy? I don't know. More like a kid or something.
We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, the scourge of demons faced.
Be prepared for quite a bit of exposition, like I said.
In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united, owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. One to the king of a small yet diligent land. One to the king of the burrowers underground. One to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. One to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. One to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
Well, that just kind of sucks, doesn't it? Sucks for you. So yeah, some interesting exposition there. So now the other 4 archstones have been unsealed, allowing us to basically have free reign of the world.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber, and seal it away for all eternity.
That should be pretty easy.
If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon.
Okay.
Old One,
Oh.
without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
Alright, see you later. So yeah, the problem with that, when they show you how to get to the monumental, the first time I played this game, I thought that the fucking statue was the monumental. And I was like walking up to it, trying to talk to it, and I wasn't even paying attention that there are like people here. So yeah, really interesting. He was talking there about 6 archstones. In the game, only 5 are available. The 6th one, leading to the lands of the giants, are closed. And it's never really kind of been revealed as to why that one is broken. whether they meant to add DLC or who knows. It's probably, we know from Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls that most of the Souls games tend to suffer from time constraints. So maybe they wanted to add the 6th land there and they just kind of ran out of time or something. Haven't talked to the blacksmith yet, but more importantly, we can now level up.
Who fears not death. Prithee, lull the old one back to its ancient slumber.
We get the blue eye stone and the white eye stone, which are basically the black separation crystal and the white sign soapstone of this game.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Of course I do. Want to be more powerful,
So be it.
always.
After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let these ownerless souls become thine own.
So, yeah, we can now level up. I did get a question in the last episode. Someone asked me, because they've only played Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, what the difference between intelligence and magic is. Well, things are kind of different in this game. The intelligence stat in this game is essentially attunement. So, as you can see, it gives you more MP, which this game uses MP instead of spell castings, and it increases your soul memory. Or, I mean, spell memory, not soul memory. So yeah, intelligence is essentially attunement, and then magic, as you can see, determines your magic power, and faith, your miracle power. And miracle memory and spell memory are two separate things. So yeah, it kind of works differently a little bit. Luck, I was also asked about luck. As you can see, it increases the drop rate, a little bit of physical defense, and plague resistance, which plague is basically toxic. Now, in terms of stats, we are gonna need 18 strength, 18 dex, 18 magic, and 18 faith. So, what I think I'm gonna start off with is bump up my... Let's get one more spell slot. And I'm gonna increase my magic. And actually I do have enough HP. We'll increase my endurance a little bit. And that's about it.
Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
Alright, so basically the weapon I'm planning on using, the Blue Moon Sword, is essentially kind of like the Artorias Sword in the other games, or what's it called, the Majestic in Dark Souls 2, in that it has kind of very spread out stats. Okay, we have plenty of NPCs to talk to in the next episode, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank you guys very much for watching part 2 of Return to Demon's Souls. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see all of you next time. God, that enthusiasm. Holy shit. See you later.